I'm a big fan of the Glock 19. It's small enough to conceal, but big enough to fight with. And yeah, I got this one from my roommate in college. I've had it about 5 or 6 years, put a ton of rounds through it, no issues at all. Funny story actually, when we were in college, we had a bunch of girls come over, and I didn't want to freak them out with having a gun there, so I quickly put it in my Wawa bag, unloaded, but I threw it in the Wawa bag, and there was a can of Monster in there, and the front sight post actually, it punctured the can, and this was sitting in a bag of Monster. So it's got this little tattoo on it, I guess you could say, but it's got like little bubble marks on there. I don't know if it's gonna focus in on it, but I'll insert footage. You can see like there's little bubble marks on there, and there's like a line. It kind of messed up the finish that they have on the Glock slides, but it gives it character. It's a funny memory. Speaking of the front sight and the sights in general, they're Ameriglo Sights. I don't know the exact model of Ameriglo Sights, but it says Trigicon on top. I believe it says Trigicon on top because of the tritium inserts that are in there, because I know they're Ameriglo Sights. So that being the case, it's a big red sight, big red dot sight, but it's got that little tiny dot of green tritium in the middle, and there's a dot of green tritium on the rear side as well. And basically in low light conditions, you're going to stack those two green dots, and that's going to be your sight picture. I do like the high visibility big red dot sight though. It's just like easy to find, and also when you're shooting a handgun, you want your focus to be on that front sight. So it's, especially starting out, it was very easy to keep my focus on that front sight with that big red dot on there, and it's just easy to put that front sight on target, and I like it a lot. For my flashlight, my weapon light, I have the Inforce APL-c. Highly recommend it, especially for the Glock 19. It kind of sits flush. You can kind of see that there. Yeah, so when you hold it in, it's momentary, but if you just click it, then it's constant. And I like that a lot. It's very bright for such a small package, and they're pretty tough too, apparently. So, like I said, I have a lot of rounds through this Glock 19, and I've had 0 issues with it. In terms of holsters, I'm an appendix guy. This is a TXC holsters. I don't know the model, I forget, but basically they come with these sidecars here. So this is for an extra mag, and then this is for a blade. And you have to buy the blade separately. It's a Colonel Blades blade. Yeah, again, TXC holsters, I like it a lot. It was fairly expensive, but worth it in my opinion. You can see here, it's got this kind of indexing there, and what that does is it pushes against your body to keep this section of the firearm against your body. And it also has, I don't know if you can see, but this here to push against your belt, and again, push the firearm inside towards your body, and that just helps prevent printing. My only downside of this holster is sometimes I have a difficult time getting it in, even with the sidecars off. With the sidecars on, it's more difficult. But once it's on, it's pretty much on. It only takes a couple seconds. I'll actually put this one on here. But what I do is you gotta start it, and that's pretty much how I carry my firearm. And I've honestly only ever been called out for printing once, and it was at a gas station, and he was just like, "Hey, what are you carrying?" And I said, "I'm a Glock guy."